And today we're going to talk to each other about what we should do this session on. What topic should we head into? So, with that in mind, what do you think about that? What subject do we hit on?
Andrea, I've been super curious about how Michael talks about the remembering that there are skills that we have and we're just simply remembering them. Like we're already healthy, we're just remembering that we're healthy. Is
Hmm.
one of the things he says. Or you are loved, but you're remembering that you are loved. But then once in a session with a client this last week, he said, if I were ever do Cirque du Soleil, I'd have to learn that because I've never done that. But if I wanted to be an opera singer, I could remember how to do that. So of course, Andrea, this last week I've been trying to sing opera and I'm really bad.
You have more remembering to do, Sharice.
So I mean I don't really want to become an opera singer. I'm just curious about this whole spiritual world. And I think having Michael talk about like we come to this earth to experience expansion. And so expansion, I think, involves learning new skills and learning new things and the way that those things and experiences make us feel expands the love in the world. So how do we play with this remembering and how do we play with this learn a new skill, huh?
Okay, I love that idea. And the only thing that I want to add to it is something that I've heard him say, which is landed on me. And I think about it a lot for myself and also my daughter and friends that I talk to, is that this concept of perfection that I think some of us struggle with. And what I think plays into what you just said is there's a difference between knowing that you're a perfect divine soul and striving to become perfect. And it's in the
Yeah.
striving that we sort of shoot ourselves in the proverbial foot. But that if you could know it and it coincides with what you just said, or maybe it's the same thing of remembering it or knowing it, as opposed to
Yeah.
what you just said, acquiring the skills, which is something in our physical humanness we're used to. You got to learn how to do it.
Right, right. And the remembering is it's so comfortable to strive, right?
Yeah, right.
The remembering
Right.
feels like a very different skill.
Right. Because it almost feels like a cop out because you think of yourself as, well, if you're going to stay in the basement and smoke pot and play video games, that is sort of what I hear when I go, don't strive, just allow.
Yeah,
And yet there's a
yeah,
differentiation in that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yet that's exactly what my brother did. And now he's a marketing VP for a very large video game company, and it played out real well for him.
Well, then you know what I'm doing this afternoon. Permission
And all
granted.
those years of mom and dad, specifically dad, saying those video games aren't going to get you anywhere. And now dad's like, and Matthew's like, can I help you guys with cash? Because, I can help. So there's something about when is it a cop out and when is it allowing? Because not
Yeah.
everyone who smokes pot and does video games in the basement ends up where my brother did.
I love this. Let's go into this conversation with him with all of these pieces of it because I think this is something we could all I think we do you're right. We struggle with putting the striving down and we
Yeah,
struggle with striving.
yeah,
So where is the middle ground where it's okay or beneficial or,
yeah,
or in our highest good? Okay, great. I
yeah.
love this.
And then if it helps, because when I'm gone, I won't, I'll be very helpful in bringing Michael through, less helpful in providing context, but he's used the language with me playfully productive.
Hmm.
So if that's something you want to tease apart with him, that's a phrase he's used many times.
Okay, great. Great.
All right, are we ready for
Okay.
him?
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thinking it is very funny that you're saying inner circle. My inner circle is very big. Send me the link. Yes, yes, yes. Happy to be here and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, great. Well, so let's talk about this concept of oh, becoming something, right? Like this in our physical world, we think that way. Make something of yourself. Become something,
Yes.
be successful, strive. And then there's another way of looking at it, which is remember that you already are. That seems exciting. It
Yes.
feels better. And I also think that the world at large doesn't buy it.
Yes, yes, yes. So there are interwoven concepts with this, interwoven concepts, and the first is this belief in worthiness. And so striving on earth is connected to this belief that I earn worthiness. And so the whole just watching reality TV all day or the smoking pot or the video games, the examples that feed the idea of that person must be unworthy because they are not taking the actions to make them worthy. That concept is responsible for most of the physical pain that humans walk around with because you cannot earn worthiness. And the harder you work, the further away you get from remembering that you are naturally divine and worthy. So that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is that somebody who knows that they are naturally and divine and worthy is unlikely to binge watch reality TV very long because they will lose interest. So it's trusting that as you're calling in more of this light and you are living more from this place of your higher self, your actions and behaviors are going to reflect that interest. So in that way, instead of I'm going to be worthy, so I am going to walk for 30 minutes every day. I am being lazy. All these judgments. I must walk for 30 minutes. When you are working with that energy, your body is learning if we don't walk for 30 minutes every day, we're in very big trouble. Oh, health is hard. We have to go work and go find this health. This is going to be hard for us. All your cells are going, okay, we'll make this hard. We do what she says, we do what she believes. So we're going to make this hard. Now, if you instead say, I'm going to follow my own divine self, I'm going to call in this energy, and you trust that process, there will be a moment when you want to go take a 30-minute walk because your body will crave the vitamin D and you're
Mm.
listening to your body. It's going to crave the movement. And then you're probably going to not just walk around the city streets. You're going to be like, it's worth a 20-minute drive to go to this other place because I want to see the trees. And
Mm.
now your body is saying, we love being on earth. We love the trees. Oh, I love pulling in all this oxygen. This feels good. So the remembering isn't about lack of action. It's a gentler pathway of love and acceptance that also includes action. And that's fun instead of this disciplined, forceful, earn my worthiness path that feels like eventually we will use an example. When Sharisa was little, she joined this gym and her mom said to her, well, remember, if you stop lifting those weights, you're just going to go all flabby again. That's the path of I must earn this. I must worthy. And it is a constant message from parents and from the media at all times. Instead of listen to yourself, there's going to be a moment when your body craves movement. Your body's going to crave the right amount of water for you and to really listen to it. And then we don't trust that. We think kids will just drink the soda, but what we've done is we've offered them soda and water when they're all tense and not connected in with their own divine self. And so they're picking the adrenaline flood of the sugar. But if they were centered, they might actually be like, I think I'm dehydrated. I'll drink the water and then maybe have a sip of soda or two, but it'll be sufficient. You are understanding?
Yes, I am understanding. I, I'm contemplating certain moments in my life where um, life felt heavy, and I did use a reality TV show or even a TV show that I'm remembering right now, and thinking, oh, I remember using that show to soothe.
Yes.
Um, And I guess maybe it's maybe understanding that difference between uh I'm using this on purpose to soothe myself. I will soothe, and then a new thought and a new idea and a new action and a new inspiration will come. And I
Yes.
will do that then. Yeah, as opposed to either looking at yourself or another and going, lazy sack of shit.
Exactly, because there's actually nothing wrong with the binge watching the reality TV.
Hmm.
The challenge of that is the self-deprecation that happens internally while you're doing it.
Hmm.
And sometimes that is, I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, one more episode. Or sometimes it's a screw the world, I'm going to do this anyway, but it's still a harsh, forced, make me if you dare, like Sophia on the ground in Home Depot, see if you can make me move. It's that kind of energy, but none of that energy is a wow, I'm a divine being and I'm exploring all the experiences on earth. And right now I'm exploring binge watching reality TV. Let's have
Hmm.
this experience. You
Hmm.
are seeing the difference?
Yes, because I had an experience the other night where I was awake in the night and I had chosen to scroll, and I was having a conversation with myself about that poor choice, and then responding to myself and saying, I'm going to go ahead and give into this right now. I'm going to be scrolling for soothing purposes, and I'm going to be okay with that. I don't think I achieved that, but I at least said it.
Yes, and a pathway there is not it's integrated. There's a little more love this time than last. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
this is good versus ah, damn, I'm doing it again, right? So
Or
allow for
verse,
that integration.
and also saying, uh, okay, I can hear Michael's advice of if you're going to do it, love yourself doing it. It's okay. Tell yourself it's okay. And then another voice that comes in that says, that's just an excuse. You're just trying to make an excuse for doing something you shouldn't do, which is just another drug, this scrolling.
Yeah. So you know the cartoons where the angel and the devil are on the
Yes.
shoulders?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that whole concept and the concept that Earth has of these energies being super, super split is part of the challenge. In
Mm-hmm.
truth, if you think of the angel and the devil as just like light energy and dark energy,
Hmm.
instead of the, you can make it a cartoon in your head, that's fine. But if the little devil is talking and the little angel is talking, even if you let the little devil talk, and we are not talking about people who are trying to cause harm to others, we're talking about this internal process,
Hmm.
right? For
Hmm.
yourself.
Hmm.
There's still love at the end of this little guy talking.
Hmm.
If you say, okay, I'm going to listen to you for a moment. Oh, you're saying I'm a bad person, you're saying this, you're saying that. That's just your own inner dialogue trying to get released. And if you allow it to flow from a place of it is being released instead of fighting against it, you'll end up with two angels on your shoulder. But it's the rub and the friction of the back and forth that creates all this more and more of the dark energy. Dark energy is just energy looking to find its pathway back to being light energy.
That's very helpful. And I feel I might be veering away from what Sharice and I set out to do. but, but maybe that's okay because I what that makes me wonder about is the advice of change your story, change your life. And recently having conversation with a very close personal friend of mine who was very adamant about her negative story. And as I was listening to her, I was thinking, stop saying those things. Stop saying those things. And yet I can also at the same moment say, boy, I say my things a lot and loudly. And finding again, the balance between venting it out of you, getting the energy out of you,
Yes,
and taking responsibility for saying, now let's say the truth. I do believe in
yes,
that person. I do believe in my, yeah,
yes,
speak to that.
yes. Yeah, so vent is an interesting word because it is allowing, if you think about a vent, it's opening and allowing the airflow through or the water to flow through. And when you allow venting to happen that way, so that you're realizing I am releasing this. If you are doing that and then you're letting the light in, that is healthy. If you are venting and it's not really venting, but it's rehearsing, it's not going out, it's recycling.
Wow. Okay. How do you feel that difference? You, I mean, how do you feel that difference?
Yes, yes. So you we are going to answer how you feel it in a moment because that's an energetic experience, but that's an experience most people are very disconnected from. But here are clues that you are recycling versus venting is that when you vent it works. You don't have the need to vent again. And when you vent, you actively call in the light afterwards. So that space is now filled. So you know that you're recycling when you need to do it over and over and over and over again. And then you need to sit and say, okay, let me see if there's a different story I could be telling here. Or after this time I vent, I'm going to consciously call in the light. So if you've vented and then you've not called in the light and then you're just pissed and vented again, you're recycling.
Okay.
And there's zero need to do it perfect, but are you recycling for years and creating tumors inside your body? Or are you recycling a few times because it kind of feels nice to tell your girlfriends about this shitty thing that just happened to you and they're part of your life? And then you're like, wait a second. Okay, let's call in the light. I did a vent. Let's call in the light because I don't want
Hmm.
to end up recycling this over and over. You are seeing.
Yes. And then what do you have to say about entertainment, storytelling? I had a very entertaining thing occur in my life a couple of weeks ago. And when I find a new friend that hasn't heard it, guess what? Guess what
Yes.
happened? And I can hear myself going, why do you have to tell this again? You're going to make it happen. You're going to create more of this. What do you do? What do you do that? Do you not tell the story? Or do you, because I feel now I'm telling the story with levity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is what energy is attached to it more than
Hmm.
what you are
Hmm.
saying. So this human talks pretty openly about being raised in a cult. She is not in risk of creating a new cult or going in that, but she is talking about it from a place of self-awareness where she's owning her own power in it
Hmm.
from a different place. She's not seeing herself as the victim of this cult. She's seeing herself as the cult, as a life experience she has grown through. So it's very different. But if you are just talking about it with the, ooh, look, I get a rise out of people and I like to be funny and things like that, and then you find yourself doing it over and over again, you are creating more opportunities that use conflict to make you funny.
Oh my goodness.
Whereas you could do it funny, but also do it from a place of self awareness and owning your own creative power within the process. And you can really be funny then too, but you're also sharing a meaningful exercise with your friends where you're sharing the story, but you're also sharing the energetic conclusion that has growth and light.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Once again, I'm judging myself because Teresa and I had a plan and I'm way off now.
We we are all there are endless possibilities. So a plan is a
Okay.
nice idea, not an agreement.
Okay. Because what I want to say is the way you said that, I want to tell my girlfriend the shitty thing happened to me. Um, I would like to be petty about my ex-boyfriend to be funny, uh, which is something that I did this morning, if you can even imagine. um, and yesterday, I did it yesterday. Uh, is doing what exactly? Just I guess just speak to that when we like to. I don't necessarily that I would call that gossip, although maybe it is, but it's more of a yeah, I sort of see it as I'm being funny and yet being who I am, I have to question everything, going, what effect is that having on my
Yes.
present and future?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what might be helpful is to remember that it's the energy that's creating, not so much the action.
Okay.
So there's zero need to become hyper concerned about every action you're taking. And if it's
Okay.
an action that, you're getting together with your friends and this is what you normally do. So when this human's ex-husband got divorced again, she's of course going to tell her family. But she's again not in any huge danger of manifesting another Randy in her future
Hmm.
because she does not see herself as a victim to Randy. She sees herself as co creating a learning experience that they both grew from. So, in that sharing, the energy is not charged in, oh, Sharisa needs this again to be able to grow and learn from this. And it is simply just a sharing. And of course, there were jokes and things like that and laughing, not exactly at his expense because he wasn't there, but it was more of a you harmed our daughter and they're releasing their valve a little
Hmm.
bit.
Hmm.
But she's again not in danger of recreating that or recycling that. And she doesn't also feel the need to say it over and over again. It didn't need to be a topic the whole time
Hmm.
of Thanksgiving. It was just a moment. So ask yourself, what energy is this holding? And if it is just a moment, no big deal. If it's a moment you're craving to have over and over and over again, then you may be recycling. And then there's more opportunity for light there.
I mean, that was what the joke was made back to me was it's funny how all roads lead back to this joke about your ex-boyfriend. That was what she said. And she was joking, but there was truth to it.
Yes. And is Andrea seeing her part in the co-creation with the ex-boyfriend?
Yes, I do. I do see. I,
And
I
and
think
is
so. I think
Andrea
I do.
is Andrea accepting that part of the co-creation that she did with a place of love and divine acknowledgement that none of that was wrong, but just simply choices that allowed you to expand and grow in this world?
Yes, I actually do. As you're saying it, I'm curious. I'm going, I don't know. You seem kind of petty about it. But in this moment, hearing you say that, I feel an agreement. I feel,
Yes.
yes, I do feel I feel I took too much responsibility for a while. Then I probably pushed off too much responsibility for a while. And I do feel like the pendulum has landed in the middle of, well, it was fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I certainly came a long way, didn't I? And I needed to come along. Like looking back, I can
Yes.
see where I needed to go. Yeah,
Yes. So, in that way, the energy behind it, as you've just even done your own quick little assessment, isn't creating more of that.
I got
It's
it.
just a
Okay.
moment. So this human, um, she would love to win the lottery, just thinks it'll solve everything. If her thinking and she has positive expectation, she knows it's going to happen. If that was going to instantly create a lottery winning, she would have won it already. And that's the same. Like if just talking about a quick little joke about your ex was going to instantly create that again, she would have won the lottery many, many times. There's momentum that builds. I do think she's going to win the lottery eventually, but she's going to need a lot of momentum. And so you want to ask yourself as you're going through this pattern, what momentum am I creating? Not just I messed up this one moment. No, where am I flowing to? And is that where I want to be flowing?
That's super helpful. If that's the question you're asking as you're speaking or as you're doing, is you're going like, instead of going, I don't want more or am I creating more, just simply go, where's the momentum right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, because you brought that up, I want to ask you on behalf of the mere mortals on the planet who would and understandably question how is it possible that Sharice is able to do this thing and you, Michael, don't just give her the numbers? You must know what they are, do you? First of all, let's answer that one. Do you know what the numbers are? Is that
Yes.
even you do?
Yes, but there is zero interest in it because it does
Right.
not serve a purpose. So it is like we have said to her in the beginning, we are not a magic 8 ball and you may not use us that way. So knowing is one thing, and then knowing how to use that information to serve the world is a different thing. And often what people think they want is not actually what serves them. So
I
yes.
see.
And early on, when she was communicating a lot with an energy that's still very close with her, that's part of her soul family that she's nicknamed Light, we did give her all of the numbers through the pendulum, but one number down. We are not knowing if she ever told you about this. She kept questioning, are we real? Are we real? And then she would sit with her pendulum and try and predict the lottery numbers. It was a very interesting little time for her. And so once we gave her all the numbers, but one down. So she would have had a winning ticket if she had just made every number just plus one. And we did that to show her, yes, but this is not how to spend your time. This is not how you partner with spirit. This is not what we do. We do not interfere in this fashion.
That's really interesting. I know Abraham Hicks has a similar story that when Jerry and Esther first found Abraham, that they had their friends hide in town and that Abraham was going to tell Esther where they were and that they were going to go find them. And they went, Esther and Jerry went to the place and the people weren't there. But when they finally got together in the end, they said, we were there, but we moved. All in hopes of learning and teaching, I guess what you just said, but that's not the
Yes.
point. But we do as people think, and I think I still do probably think, Michael, just tell me where to go and how to get there and where the money's buried. Like,
Yes.
because then everything will be okay.
Yes. The money is buried in your own heart, and you all, as every human, have access to it at all times. And if you think of the spirit world more like a loving parent or a father figure, a father that gives their child the money has a certain outcome. And if the father who helps them realize they already have the value inside of them gives them a lifetime. And that is our intention.
That's really funny because that just reminds me of a joke that a stand-up has that he says, why did we decide that the king's son would be the next ruler? What are the odds that the king's son's not going to be an asshole? Okay, that's pretty amazing. And so okay. To wrap it all up and come back to our plan, um, to remembering, to
Yes.
remembering that
Yes.
we are whole with or without the lottery, the
Yes.
boyfriend, the health, the life we
Yes.
think we want to live is we already have
Yes.
that within our own hearts at all times.
Yes. Yes. And what we would offer to expand on the concept of the remembering, because we are knowing that often people look to this spiritual realm because they are feeling physical pain, or they are concerned about poverty levels that would uh, edge on housing insecurity and things like that. We understand that people turn to spirit when they are feeling dire. Yes.
Hmm.
So what we would say that this remembering isn't some sort of magic miracle that you're waiting to plop into your lap. That's what this human will do. She's like, well, Michael plopped into my lap. Can't you just give me free of back pain? I'd like it. Plop it in my lap today, please.
Yeah.
When we say it's already within you, the solution exists. It does not mean that we're going to take away the challenge that you are facing. But when you align the spiritual growth, the metaphysical principles, and then take action, together they combine to healing. And those work in tandem. So we are knowing the back pain that she faces. That is one of her challenges. Part of what's coming together. She's done a lot of the spiritual work and she is continuing to grow in that. When she aligns the spiritual work with the physical practices, all of a sudden the right physical practices will show up Or trying a physical practice she's tried in the past will suddenly work because she's released more of the darker energy and she's doing the metaphysical work. But it's an integration and a blending of the two that is the remembering, not just a miracle moment.
How do we as people reconcile the fact that Charissa has the capability to channel you? At the same time, she remains a human who can't win the lottery and has back pain.
Yes. How can she resolve that?
She'd like to know. She'll listen back.
We will go to how angry she was. She was very, very angry when she really fell for this one guy and turned out he was married. And we did not give her a heads up. And we had asked her, she had asked us about him, and we had said he's good for her, and he is good for her. And the whole experience was good for her. And she was very, very, very mad. So we would offer that if spirit found some perfect human by humans' assessment standards, and then only came through there, then we would be reinforcing this faulty belief that you must earn worthiness. The fact that Charissa is perfectly imperfect and gloriously human and a bit of a mess and also wonderful is makes her the perfect vessel.
That's a good answer. You're good. You're very good. Yeah, I want you to feel good about yourself.
Almost like I'm divine, like
Oh,
you.
touche. Okay, well, that's really great. I feel like this is a nice place to give you an opportunity to give us some closing words if you have any
Yes, yes,
on
yes.
this session. Yeah.
We would offer that you, as every human, any human listening to this, you are closer to loving yourself than you realize.
Hmm.
And the more that you just lean into that day after day, there's less of a need to figure it all out. So we are happy to have these conversations that give context and for spiritual seekers, give them more of a space to explore. And remember that the pathway is rather simple. When you love yourself a bit more, you can trust your intuition is going to give you the physical step that will go along it with it, because all of the clearing is about love. And then the physical steps will take care of themselves because you will be having the inspired moment that will guide it. We will give one more example because there will be time in the future where Charisse's back pain is a thing of the past. It'll just be 10 minutes in the morning instead of this 2 hour drag out, open up the spine all day long fuss that she has. But she does have an autoimmune disorder, and it is likely that she's always going to kind of have to look at that. And she
Hmm.
chose that as she came through. So remembering that you are healthy is the process of flooding more love in, not placing some miracle hope for a divine intervention that's going to somehow prove your worthiness.
Well, shucks, you made me ask something else. I blame you. So the challenge that we face, whatever it is, let's call it my teenage son, which I don't have one. I'm just saying, like, or my back pain, which I don't have, but like we all have something, right? We all have something in either our family, our relationships, our finances, our health. In facing those challenges, uh, what can help you soothe the facing is sort of, I guess, seeing it as what you just said, seeing it as this is my opportunity to flow more love. This is my situation to do this in, as opposed to why me, poor me. I can't believe this happened to
Yes.
me. Or even that sad sack over there. I'm glad that didn't happen to me. Instead, we look at that one, we look at this one, and we go, This is my flow. This is my love flow. This is my
Yes.
specific brand."
Yes. And instead of that sad, whatever you had said, but instead of that, imagine, wow, look at his love flow,
Got it.
because
Got it.
that's what we're all doing.
Wow. Okay, that's really helpful because the sad sack, just so you know, um, could be a stranger or your husband.
Yes.
And instead of looking at your
But
close,
Jason is lovely.
every once in a while he's a sad sack, but not much. But I do, as Mr. T used to say, I pity the fool. I do feel pity for him, and that is not helping his flow or mine.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Instead, I look at him and say, look at his love flow, look at my love flow for me to see him in a different way than feeling
Yes.
sorry for him.
Imagine how, and so some souls come through and choose Down syndrome. That's one of the choices. And that particular area is a very heightened area of love flow. A lot of the children who have Down syndrome, first of all, have the full range of feelings. It's
Hmm.
not a limited range of feelings, it's actually a heightened range of feelings, including the feeling of love.
Hmm.
And so, if society started looking at them instead of for them as, wow, we just were blessed with this heightened emotional wisdom, how would we all transform the way that we view instead of fix, fix, fix? Then perhaps as people walk around with syndrome, maybe they're seen in their true life and their true perfection of who they are.
Hmm. And that starts like the little, I forget what would you call it, cliche or a saying. People say charity starts at home. Like, you're feeling love for another starts at home, and you feel love for your own self, and from there, yeah. Whoa.
Yes. Yes. Because really, when we are saying, oh, poor them, what internally is happening is, I couldn't handle that. When in truth you could. When in truth you could.
Oof, that's pretty powerful. Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Yes.
I
Love, love, love.
love, love, love.
Love,
Thank you.
love, love. You are ready for the human?
Yes, yes, let's bring her back. Thank you.
Oh, how you doing?
Okay. Great. Great.